Jai Gurudev. Gurudev, it is a privilege to delve into the wisdom of the Astavakra Gita with you today. To start with, can you explain the concept of heaven as depicted in various religious texts? Jai Gurudev, Namaste. In many religious traditions, heaven is often depicted according to one's desires and imaginations. For example, if someone is fond of alcohol, they might imagine heaven as a place filled with the finest varieties of alcohol. This reflects the idea that heaven, in a way, caters to one's personal preferences. In some beliefs, it is said that avoiding alcohol in this life ensures you get better varieties in heaven. But this notion is more symbolic, pointing to how our desires shape our vision of the afterlife. That's intriguing. How do these desires influence one's perception of hell? Just as with heaven, hell is also a reflection of one's aversions and fears. If someone dislikes spicy food, for instance, their personal vision of hell might involve being force fed extremely spicy food. Some Puranas describe hell where people are tormented with their worst fears, such as having their mouths forcefully stuffed with hot food. But again, this is symbolic. If someone enjoys spicy food, that scenario wouldn't be hellish, but rather enjoyable. This shows that hell is also a mental construct tailored to one's dislikes and fears. So these concepts of heaven and hell are essentially mental constructs. Exactly, the Astavakra Gita emphasizes that both liberation and bondage are mental constructs. The notion of wanting to be free can itself become a norm of bondage. If you constantly yearn for freedom, that desire binds you. True liberation comes from transcending these dualities. You realize that all these concepts are created by the mind. How can one achieve this sense of liberation? Liberation is about recognizing that your natural state is one of freedom. If you act as though you are already free, you align with your true nature. Often, our cries and desires for freedom are just layers of imagination. If you dig deeper, you will find that unhappiness is not your true nature, it is just a surface layer. True liberation comes when you see through this and realize your oneness with existence, dissolving the illusion of separation. What role does imagination play in this understanding? Imagination plays a significant role. The ideas of heaven, hell, and bondage and liberation are all superimpositions of the mind. When you see that there is nothing you need to do, no merit to gain, no demerit to avoid, you reach a state of realization. In this state, you recognize that you are like a king who suddenly realizes he doesn't need to toil for a piece of bread. He simply acknowledges his inherent abundance. Does this mean that striving for spiritual goals can be counterproductive? Yes, in a sense, striving itself can become a form of bondage if you lose sight of the fact that you are already whole. Many people run to forests seeking solitude, thinking they can find God there, but often they return realizing that what they sought was already within them. Running away doesn't solve their inner turmoil. It is about understanding that amidst people or in solitude, the essence remains the same. How can one balance being with people and seeking solitude in the path to realization? It is about seeing beyond the duality. In the midst of people, you can experience silence and stillness. Similarly, in solitude, you can feel connected with all of life, whether you are in a crowd or alone. The essence doesn't change. The Astavakra Gita teaches us to find this non dual awareness, where the forest and the city, solitude and society become expressions of the same underlying reality. You mentioned that both people and trees express emotions. Could you elaborate on this connection? Yes, everything in nature, including trees, has a vibrational quality. For example, in Calcutta, there was a Nagalinga tree that was very expressive and sensitive. Spending time with such trees can make you feel their presence and emotions. It is how animals and humans express emotions differently, yet there is a fundamental connection. Recognizing this helps us see the unity in all forms of life. How does this realization of oneness affect our daily lives? It brings a profound sense of peace and ease. When you see life as a unified whole, you stop compartmentalizing experiences as good or bad, heaven or hell. This realization that everything is one simplifies life and aligns you with your true nature. Whether you are amidst people or in solitude, you remain connected to the essence of existence. Thank you, Gurudev, for sharing these profound insights from the Astavakra Gita. Your wisdom sheds light on the deeper truths of existence and the path to true liberation. It is my pleasure. Remember, the journey is within, and understanding this brings true freedom and joy. Jai Gurudev.